Chapter 7 begins the chapter with Richard being led by Zed and Kaelin into the old man's house. Richard has a hard time maintaining an active hold on his senses and rational mind. Zed and Kaelin take Richard inside and put him to bed, where he spends the next few hours slipping in and out of consciousness as he experiences inconsistent levels of rational awareness. As Richard lies in bed suffering from fever and delirium, Kaelin sits next to the bed and tries to comfort him however she can. While Richard hangs between consciousness and unconsciousness, he recalls the events of his father, trusting him to memorize the Book of Counted Shadows. George Cypher took Richard into the woods where he spent several months memorizing the exact words of the Book of Counted Shadows by writing down what he could remember and checking it against the original words of the text. This section references a beast that was sent to guard the Book of Counted Shadows until its master could come and claim it. Richard is told by his father that the information from the book was only meant for the keeper of the secret book, but his father doesn't know who the keeper of that secret book is. If Richard is unable to find the true owner of the book, then he is to pass this information on to his children, and so on until a rightful owner can be found. Richard's father tells him that he can't tell anyone about the book except the rightful owner. He can't tell his brother, he can't tell his best friend Zed, or anyone else. After an extended amount of practice, Richard was able to write the entire book 100 times from start to finish without missing a single word, noting that based on its content, any omission would spell disaster. Once Richard is sure the book has been properly memorized, they leave it hidden for 3 years. When they come back and he's able to perfectly recite the book from memory after such a long time, Richard said he's ready to destroy it so that the knowledge could be protected without the danger that accompanies a physical copy. When the book is cast into the fire, the heat and flames are sucked into it with a bitter cold wind that surrounds them. When the wind finishes, the book is gone. When Richard regains consciousness, he notices Kaelin sitting next to him with Zed's cat on her lap. Kaelin tells Richard that Zed has left to find the route he needs to help him. And Richard realizes that Kaelin is the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. Richard tells Kaelin that Zed is like a second father to him and asks him to promise her not to hurt him 4 times in a row. Kaelin tells Richard that she will not make a promise that might cause her to break other, more serious promises that she has already made to the people that Dark and Raw has put at risk. Richard looks at the situation from Kaelin's perspective and realizes that she's right. Richard apologizes and asks Kaelin if she will wait for him to get better so he can try to convince Zed to help her before she does anything to try and force him. Once Kaelin gives her word to wait, Richard allows himself to go back to sleep. Zed displays the Clark Kent effect when he calls for his cat to come inside while he is outside, only to have it run past him like he isn't there when he opens the door to come inside. Zed tells Kaelin Richard needs to be awake to drink the liquid in the bowl. He pulls the old, "you keep squeezing this rag while I secretly use magic to wake Richard up without you noticing" trick on Kaelin, and it works. With Richard deeply unconscious, Zed asks Kaelin what a confessor is doing without her wizard, and she tells him that he sold his services to a queen. When Kaelin asks Zed if he knew the old wizard when he lived in the Midlands, he says that he did. But even if she could find him, he doesn't think he would be inclined to help. Kaelin makes her case to Zed about why she thinks she will be able to convince the old wizard to help by stating all of the injustices that have been inflicted against her people. Kaelin goes on to say that even if the wizard chooses not to help the people for the sake of altruism, he will have a selfish motivation to do so, because if Darkenrahl continues unopposed, on the first day of winter he'll have the power to find and destroy the old wizard regardless of where he's hiding. She says that if she cannot convince the old wizard with logic and reason that by helping her he also helps himself, that she will use her power on him to force him to. Playing devil's advocate, Zed asks Kaelin what she thinks one dried-up old wizard will be able to do against Darkenrahl. Kaelin says that the wizard must appoint a seeker. And Zed tells Kaelin that she doesn't know what she's talking about because a seeker isn't created by their appointment. A seeker is created by a person's actions and recognized by a wizard. The recognition by the wizard just makes it official. Zed tells Kaelin that she has all of the right information, but she has it backwards. He says, a seeker of truth is only made by someone who has chosen to act that way. Zed tells Kaelin that even if a seeker was appointed, he wouldn't be able to stand up to Darkenrahl. Kaelin says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and out of all the bad options they have, this is the best one. Zed says even if they did pick the right person, they wouldn't be familiar with the Midlands and would quickly be killed. Galen explains that she has given her consent to offer her life and services to whomever the wizard appoints. When Zed says that she would be putting herself at risk and the life of the Seeker at well, she tells him she already is at risk and that if he has a better plan to handle things, then it's time to put up or shut up. Before he's given the chance to put up, Richard makes some noise which prompts him to shut up while he takes care of the thorn that is being expelled from his body. We see Kaylin sees the thorn come free and she wants to touch it. And Zed says don't touch it because once it's expelled from the host, it will be eager to find another. Instead of touching it, Kaylin throws the thorn in the fire. Zed asks her why she hasn't told Richard the truth about what she is, and she says Zed already has the answer to that question based on how he reacted when he realized what she was. Zed tells Kaylin that he acted foolishly and apologizes for treating her that way. After telling Kaylin that he's willing and able to interact with her as an equal, he summons an expression of menace that makes it perfectly clear that if she uses her power on Richard or chooses him to be his mate, then he will not be happy about that and she would know. Kaylin uses emotional gaslighting to tell Zed that she wouldn't do that because he is her friend, and that it is important to her that he understands this. Zed does not engage her attempts to appeal to his emotion, and gives a non-committal response that is addressed only in the factual part of her statement. Zed is curious why Kaylin hasn't asked him to help her find the wizard, and she tells him that she promised she wouldn't until Richard was better. Zed tells Kaylin to go to bed, and she says no, she'll be staying right here with Richard. Zed tells her that's fine as he pulls the old sit in this chair while I touch the sides of your head and use magic to make you fall asleep trick, and it works. Zed displays either an ability to communicate with animals or an amazing level of pet training when he tells his cat to come in from outside and sleep on Kaylin's lap to keep her warm. Zed is bit by a fly and swats it, recognizing it as a blood fly. Zed's action prompts an attack from a short-tailed gar. Zed uses his magic to freeze the gar in place. He asks the gar what its name is, and once it answers, Zed says he will remember it and gives the beast the choice to live or die. He tells the gar to find the quad, kill them, return to Dahara, or he will kill them and feed them to his flies. He then asks the gar if he consents to his terms, which he does, and Zed allows the beast to fly away. Zed activates his Cloud Rock and creates a Technicolor light show that rapidly cycles through the 4 seasons faster than a Vivaldi record on high-speed playback. Zed uses his Wizard's Rock to summon the spirits of his parents, and they ask him what's the matter. He says he's bothered by what Kaylin has to say, and his parents confirm that it's all true and tell him he needs to appoint a Seeker. Zed flashes back his memory to the High Council, turning their backs on him, and says they can live with the consequences of their actions. Zed mentions that there is one test left Richard has to pass before he can be the Seeker, and his parents tell him that won't matter when everyone is dead, but they still have a chance now because Darkenral only has one of the 3 boxes of Orden. Zed also learns that he does not have the Book of Counted Shadows and is looking for it, and that Darkenral is able to travel the underworld. Zed has more questions for his parents, like how they will get to the Midlands and why is Darkenral after Richard, but his parents tell him that he's a smart boy and he'll be able to figure out things on his own. Zed's parents are pulled back through the veil and tell him not to summon them again because doing that could tear the veil. Finally, his parents fade away and Zed is revealed by name to be the great and honorable wizard that everyone was looking for. If you like this video and want to make sure that you don't miss the next one, I invite you to take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications. I would also invite you to join our Facebook group, the official Seeking the Truth About the Sword of Truth Facebook group. Everyone is welcome, but I need everyone who comes to remember that everyone is supposed to feel welcome. I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.